What is going on, guys? My name is Tiger T, bringing you another video. For you guys who are continuing the series, it would just be the next video. But for me, it's actually been a couple days. As you can see, I got a haircut, shaved a little. The car show was fun, had a great time. But onto the actual install now of our air suspension. So first, like I said, I was gonna break this down into two parts: the actual suspension and the harnesses, the hoses, everything on the next one. So the first thing we need to do is jack up the car. And since I am on coils, this is hopefully the last time I am going to need to ever use these blocks so I can fit the jack underneath. So that's pretty exciting. I can't wait till where I just need to be able to max out on air and slide the jack right under and, you know, take out the front air. So can't wait for that. And my car's going to be on jacks for quite a little bit of time, so I got to take off the wheel. Anyway, I'll get on to all that later. But first, we need to jack up the car. Okay, guys, so I just jacked up the car. And I also took the time to disconnect my battery as well, because you're probably going to keep your doors open for this install quite some time. I'm also going to be doing a little bit more interior stuff that I want to keep this up for a little bit longer. So that's with that. And I want to kind of show you what we're going to be doing for the fronts. So if you don't know, this is where your stock ones are, and as you see, we have these three nuts and studs here, and we're just going to disconnect all of these to kind of drop the whole thing out, but we'll get into more on that later. But essentially, we are going to be working in this area for most of this build, so I am going to, the next step is to take off the wheels and tires, and I'll let you know when I get all that done. And you want to do that for all of them, and if you have trouble with your fronts or anything, you know, you might have to get a buddy to hold the brakes to where you could bust off your nuts. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing this by myself, so it should be fairly easy. It's just a lot of breaking of those nuts. So let's get into it, guys. So I got all four wheels off, as you can see. This is what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be working on the fronts first, because I think in my mind they're going to be the trickiest, because it worries me when the air suspension comes with end links, you know, so adjustable end links. I don't know if I want to use these ones or use a aftermarket one. I might stick with these ones because I don't want to spend too much money on. But essentially what we're going to do next is, once you get your wheels off, we have two bolts here that hold the main shock, and you want to get rid of all these wirings and the brake lines and push them all out the way. And then once we drop these two and the end links right here, it should be able to just come out real simple and easy. So I'm gonna miss these actually. I actually genuinely liked my Faction Fab F coils. I really like the color and everything, but I never really, you know, used them for crazy race stuff. So, you know, I'm probably just gonna sell them, even though they are pretty expensive. So it'd be cool if I could keep the top, you know, the top of the coil where it could adjust the camber on the top of the D2s, but you know, you make do with what you got. So I'm gonna just drop this all out, but for today, that's it for me for today, actually, because I actually don't have too much time, and I'm doing this really bits by bits throughout the month, so I don't want to go crazy and dig into it, because the most important thing about building your car, in my opinion, is taking breaks. You need breaks, and you need the time to just really collect yourself and then jump in it so you can make more precision work. So just take your time with it. But yeah, so I'll cut to whenever I start working on the car again. Okay guys, so it's the next day for me. I already started taking apart the all the bolts and all needed for to take out the actual current suspension right now. Some little words of advice I could give you guys: make sure you do one at a time. I also put I jacked up the actual control arm just so that it's not freely hanging, because this is a lot of weight and you kind of don't want to put too much weight on these lines. And if you're having trouble taking apart these bolts, I highly suggest you just throw on some WD-40 and just let it sit for a little bit. You know, maybe go play, do something for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, let it do its job, and then it comes right out easily. I already slapped some on this side, but I'm only doing one side at a time because, like I said, I only have one jack. So I already got the end link out, and I disconnected the brake line and you know, the sensor. So yeah, so I'm going to work on this side afterwards. I dropped the rest out, so all that's left for me to take out this shock is to take off these three, and it should come out freely. So that's really exciting. So like I said, as you do on this side, do it on the other. Okay guys, so I just put in the new D2s in there, and this is the problem where I always have the hardest part understanding, is actually how to set these thread counts. Now, people say that you should set it to how you want your ride height to be, but since this is air, this fluctuates up and down. So I'm guessing in the instructions they say to at least have some threads pop through from the bottom, which I plan on doing, but I don't know exactly how many or exactly how I'm going to do this. Worst case scenario, what we can do is throw this as low as we can so it sits higher, and we could always adjust how much air we ride on. Now, how, you know, max air should be able to give us more clearance from the ground. So that's kind of what I want, just in case, you know, there's speed bumps or X, Y, and Z. You could just air up and get over them. But this part always gives me the most brain tickling. I know you could always adjust them, but you know, you would have to jack up the car again, take off your wheel and take off all this and start unscrewing it and everything. So I really don't know, but I think what I'm going to do for this type of setup is that I'm going to just keep it like maybe 3 threads high. I think that's pretty good, you know, for max height. And you know, if we could go lower, we'll just go lower, but that's my plan. I don't know if it's really good, because this is like the setting I had with my coils, and this is like, you know, it's kind of like a little bit, like about 1 inch less than stock height. So that's that. And then another thing I'm going to be puzzled on is the actual end links here. So D2 came with some aftermarket ones, so I'm probably gonna have to replace my stock ones, because I think if it airs out, it might, you know, hit something up here or whatever. So we're gonna have to change that. It's gonna be a lot of tuning. I'm gonna try my best to do it, but that's my plan, so I think I might want to go with it. Okay guys, well, that was a little bit of something. So let me tell you what's going on here. So I put in the adjustable end links right here, right there. Oh, well, one of them. I didn't put in both. And you're not really gonna know until you settle the car, apparently. But I jacked it up a couple times and took it down, and it doesn't interfere, as you see right here. So it don't hit anything. It decompresses fine, and I'll show you what it looks like at max height. Right there, barely touches. I think if I was still on the stock ones, it wouldn't work. So I'm gonna do a couple more compressions and decompressions with my jack, just to make sure, double check everything. So, but yeah, it looks, I'm going to just tighten the ones up top, but from what I see, everything looks like it's fine, you know? So, as you see, the bag's compression right here. There's no air in it, so I should be able to get it to max height without jacking it. And of course, so there's the bag almost completely collapsed, and you know, the end light's fine. Everything looks, you know, looks good on paper, but you know, we won't really know till we drop it. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. So yeah, all that's left is to do the other side. That one side took me about a good 30 minutes because I just wanted to, you know, put these links the same length of each other. Right now this is the same, so I don't want to touch it too much. But here's the difference from stock I'm doing. So these are the stock ones right here. So as you can see, they're just about maybe this big of a knuckle shorter. So I'm gonna see how that does. If that's not good, I guess I gotta re-jack up the whole thing and do it all over again. But I'm hoping this should be fine, because you know, I'm not, you know, I don't have an aftermarket sway bar or anything, so it should be okay. So this side, I guess you could say, is done after I finish torquing these down a little bit. And I believe we put one of these in here too, and it goes in just like so, and it adjusts the softness. I don't know how soft, and the hardness. Ooh, that's getting pretty stiff. So yeah, on to the other side. Alrighty guys, so I just finished putting in the fronts. They're all torqued down. All the lower the end links are tightened. Let's hope they are good. I don't think you're gonna notice it too much, but the fronts are done. I'm on a tight schedule again, so I'm gonna have to save this for another day. And here's the other side. So next I'm gonna work on the rears. Here, look at my old-fashioned fab ones. Oh, so cool. These are really pretty coils, but now I'm on to the rears, so I gotta get those out. This is gonna be a little bit more tricky because you're gonna have to kind of undo everything here. I already took out some of my interior, just screwing around, but the hard part, well, half of the hard part is done, because in my opinion, I think putting in the coils is more of the hard, heavy stuff, while actually putting in the electronics and all is a little bit more technical. So I know what you get yourself into. So next we're on, well, I'll show you what it looks like so far. So here is how it looks for my setup. I need to actually, now that you remind me, I need to tighten these down. So yeah, I'll actually do that, but I'll do that in the next scene. I will be starting to work on the rears, but for you guys it will be like an instant. But like I said, I only got a few hours of the day, so I'm gonna have to put a pause on my project, and I'll see you guys next. Okay guys, it's actually been a couple of days. I went to Texas for my sister's baby shower, but I got the rears in now. As you could see, there they are. Some notes for when actually putting these in, I'll tell you right now, is that your bolts here, what I do is, some people take off this whole lower control arm completely, but I take off this bolt, and this one right here. Those three, and then the arm kind of just drops to the ground like this, and it's easy to access all the stuff here. And another thing is never tighten the top ones all the way, because you want to make sure they have wiggle room when you're all putting it all back together, especially with the end links and the sway bar and the bushing up here. You want to make sure it's all easy to get in, you know. And if you're having a tough time getting these bolts off, I had a tough time with this one. As you can see, it gets some, but I got it off and it's fine. If you're having a tough time, like I said, just throw on some WD-40, give it time. The other side was a lot easier for me, so, but I put the valve over here so then I could just loop it up and push it up like from underneath where my diffuser and all are. And I plan on running them probably somewhere through down here. And as I said, here are the access to the actual the controls of the dampener right here. I know you can't see it, but it's right where I'm grabbing. It's right here. And I put them both on the softest setting. I put all 4 on the softest setting. So now that all the actual shocks are in, next is, I'm pretty sure we got all the hard manual labor off. Now it's all the tedious technical work, and that's actually setting up the tank and where we want it, and a lot of measuring and all that. So, and then all that simple, after we do all that and connect all the computers, we're gonna have to figure out and read on some of that stuff there. But once we get all that done, the last thing is to actually hook up the lines to the actual shocks and to the tank right over here, and theoretically we should be done. This should be a complete build. Now I am gonna have a lot of tearing down of my interior to do to get to this. I already took out the wood panels. Like I said, I was gonna go for a temporary setup, but now that I'm here, I might want to do it more permanent. But I have this hardwood vinyl that goes on the right here. I'm probably gonna have to take out my spare as well, but I kind of like it. But we'll see what all happens. You know, it's all there, but other than that, we're all good to go. So with that conclusion, that ends the actual suspension, installing the suspension. So now we just need to do the technical part, which is install the tank, the ECU, the controller, all that stuff. That stuff is, I'm hoping, is going to be easy to assemble and put in the car. But if it gives us trouble, then let's just hope it doesn't give us any trouble. Let's just hope it's a nice, easy install. I know they have some stuff there to help us put it in, but with that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!